Let's see. Welcome to the Love Kanique podcast. My name is Kanika,
My name is Vanita.
and we are live. Apologize, we're a little early tonight. We usually start our show at 7:30. The Vanita is not feeling good, so we're gonna go ahead and get the show over, so she can go lay down and hopefully feel better. My name is Kanika. And thank you. Welcome to our podcast. If you're new to the channel, which you probably are, because it's a new channel and kind of sort of a new podcast, welcome. If you don't mind subscribing, we really appreciate it because, of course, we're trying to build up the channel, build up the podcast. So we appreciate all the help and assistance that you can give. Although, look, I don't really promote a lot. I'll start doing that. So we'll appreciate, any help that you can as far as supporting the show and the channel.
Yes.
So tonight this is going to be kind of a straight to the point show, really. Vanita and I are going to talk about what could happen. And this is going to be more directed towards the younger generation of women.
Mhm.
I think it's something that is really not talked about enough to the younger generation of women, particularly in our community. We're going to talk about what could happen if you decide to have a man's baby, right? Even if you decide to have the baby in the confines of marriage or without the confines of
Outside.
marriage. Yeah, we want to share a lot of possibilities that women should think about, particularly young women, when making this life-changing decision, because I don't think
Mhm.
it's thought through enough. And when you're young, you're so idealistic and you're trying to kind of follow the steps that society gave you of how life should be. But
Mhm.
a lot of young women find out very quickly that the way they said life should be ain't exactly the way life is.
Yes. Real
So we
talk.
want to just provide a little bit of clarity and knowledge, as women who are in our mid 40s and have seen a lot when it comes to this situation. Just give you provide some wisdom so you'll have a better understanding of the choice that you're about to make and what could possibly come with this choice.
Exactly.
But before we do that, before we jump into that, I want to quickly talk about this list of. I'm sure by now
Most,
in
I'm
social media you've
sure.
seen the video by now of a lady going on a date. A guy took her to what a Cheesecake
Cheesecake Factory.
Factory,
Mhm.
and she felt like that was disrespectful. Um, she felt like, I don't know. I guess he was treating her low class, or she deserved more than that. And that's been a big topic of discussion. And so Vanita and I are gonna quickly, just give our opinions on that tonight before we move on to the show topic. So Vanita, what do you think about this whole list? And I'm not gonna name the whole list because I have it up, but a couple of restaurants and things on the list I am going to mention places that you shouldn't take a woman on a first date according to this list. One of them is the Cheesecake Factory, one of them is the movies, one of them is the gym, coffee dates, ice cream dates. Oh, bowling is in here. I didn't see that. Bowling, hookah bar, Chipotle. So, Vanita, what do you think about this list that is going around?
Me personally, I think it's ridiculous. We're focused on the wrong thing. Like it's First of all, if he takes you to Cheesecake Factory, Jim, whichever one of them items that's on that list, okay, what does that mean? What does that tell you about him, really? Because I guess for me, I'm looking at the character of the dude. So we could take all those off the list and say he take me to Bones
Yes,
restaurant. Bones is expensive,
it is.
but he's an asshole. I don't think I'm winning because he just sent me to Bones.
I mean, that's
So
good point. Good
I,
point.
I really don't understand why we're putting so much emphasis on a spot that the gentleman take you to, because if it's a first date, you don't even really understand or know his character.
That's
So
true.
why does it matter? And then let's reverse it. Say it was you that was supposed to be taking the guy out instead of him taking you out. Would you take him to Bones? Because I doubt it. And most women are holding nowadays because
That
we
is
have leveled up
very,
money wise. But I bet you y'all won't take them to Bones and spend your bread like that.
that is
So
very, very true.
to me, we have to look at what you dish out is what you get back. It's energy, same, same. If you're not going to do it, then why did you expect somebody else to do it? Me personally, listen, let's go walk in the park. Let me see if you somebody I even want to give that much time to even sit down at a dinner. That's my thoughts behind it. And the gym, listen, I'm a gym head, so the gym sound wonderful to me.
Oh yeah,
Bowling,
the gym was
I
on the
like
list.
bowling.
Bowling, yeah,
I
yeah.
like bowling. And we can go all the way back to the top of the list to the Cheesecake Factory. I'm like, sound good to me. It's a whole bunch of options on the list. I don't understand what the issue is, but
I
I
don't
mean,
have a problem with the cheese. I like the cheesecake factory. That chicken Madeira, that's one of my
it's
favorite
banging.
dishes.
Yes,
I
it is
like
off the
it.
chain. Yes.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I guess to each his own, but I still think that as a community of women, we're focused on the wrong doggone thing once again, like always. So that's my
I would
thoughts on
have
it.
to. I would have to agree with you. To each his own. You know, I can't give a standard for another woman or her life, but
Hmm.
I do believe that we spend a lot of time focused on outside things and not as much to the energy and connectivity. Are y'all souls aligned? We don't really think about
Exactly.
those things because those are the things that really keep a couple together. Like, what is a purpose for the relationship? Are y'all compatible? Do y'all energies mesh? Are y'all
Yes.
aligned? Because if none of
Yes.
that is in line with you, if y'all are not vibrating that way, it doesn't matter where he take you. And now
Period.
you might have a $300 meal, at Bones or somewhere like that, that you still incompatible. So you're still not getting to the goal. And I think the goal, I know for most women, if they're dating, is probably marriage or taking it to another level. So it doesn't matter the restaurant if the connectivity is jacked up.
Exactly.
If y'all are incompatible, right?
And it's a
Sometimes
first date. Like
exactly. I mean, you don't to get if you're just getting to know somebody, you know, I don't know why the name of the restaurant or the amount that the dish cost is going to make such a big difference in anything, because where a man because the consensus is, well, the consensus is he doesn't value you if he takes you to any of these places, but a man can take you to the moon or to wherever and still not value you.
I
There's
was
nothing to
about to
do with that.
say, the dude that's taking you to Bones or spending that type of money could be the dude that's gonna kick your butt behind closed doors.
Yeah.
So is that what we want? Like I'm just confused on our values. Again, no standards, no kind of
Yeah.
standards. This goes back to me to standards. It's like, really?
I mean, again, I understand the concept of what they're trying to say. They're trying to say this is cheap. They're not putting any real money or real thought if they take you to any of these places.
So we're saying that our worth as women have a money value on it, is what we're saying, really? Is that what we're saying?
That's kind of what is being said. Yeah, that is
Oh,
what's being said. You're not as he's not showing you that you're valuable if he takes you to the Cheesecake Factory, like, or where a coffee or ice cream. He needs to step it up. And for some,
to who exactly? To the man or to yourself? Like, I don't, because your value lies within yourself, not based off of what somebody else does for you, or your red bottom shoes, or your Lexus, or your Mercedes Benz.
yeah,
That's not your value.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
And
I'm
one more that's on that list that is real confusing to me is a road trip. To me,
yeah.
that would be one of the best ones to go on, because then I can really get to know you.
I think a road trip is an excellent thing to do if you're comfortable enough to go on a road trip with someone or whatever.
Mhm.
If they want to take you on a road trip and you're comfortable with it, then why not? Because y'all can talk in the car and get to know each other, and then you get to a destination and have fun. But that's just me. Like I said,
Same here.
to each his own. It's really not that deep for me. I'm more of a connection person and an energy
Exactly.
person. That's what I'm
Mhm.
looking for more than anything. Is there a connection? Do our energies mesh more than
Exactly.
what restaurant he's taking me to? So I can agree with that, Vanita. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and switch over quickly to the topic at hand. We're just gonna give some advice for the younger generation of women who, probably going to a lot of young women face this dilemma, of getting pregnant young or getting pregnant by someone that you're not committed to, and even if you are committed to, making this life-changing decision to have his kid, but are very shocked in the aftermath of a lot of what happens after you decide to have a man's baby, because it's not really a little bit now with the invention of social media, particularly TikTok. I see, a lot of women are beginning to, talk about, the experience of what they thought it would be if they had a Nan's baby versus what it was when they decided to have a Nan's baby. So we just kind of want to let young women know kind of what you may be looking at or what to expect, so you won't be in la la land like most women are when they decide to have men's kids. Women be in like a fantasy world when we decide to have men's children. So we just kind of want to give you a reality check of what you really might be dealing with if you decide to make this decision. So, I mean, what advice can you give young women if they're faced with a dilemma of whether or not to, to go through with the pregnancy or to even get pregnant if they're in a relationship or in love? You be in love when you're young and all of that stuff. What advice or wisdom can you impart into those young women about that
I would
choice?
say you have to really search yourself to decide if you want the child. Is this something that you want, or is it a fantasy that you're trying to create? Do you perceive, are you having the kid based off the fact that you see this image of, in the world that we live in now, social media shows the pregnancy bellies. So are you doing it for the pictures? Are you doing it to keep him? Like, really search yourself and ask yourself what it is that you want. Because at the end of the day, once the kid is here, the kid is going to be more so on you than on him. And it ain't nothing nobody can do to make him plug in. It ain't no contracts. It's no begging and pleading. It's no nothing. There's nothing. The most that the court systems can do is have them pay child support. But if you speak to anyone, men and women, that have their kids on a continuous basis, that truly, truly raise their kids, and not on a every other weekend type basis, but on a every single day basis, they'll tell you it's no amount of money that you could give me to give me sanity from having these kids. It's none, because it's a lot of work that goes into it, a lot of work. So even if you're a billionaire, if you think about it, you guys love social media. So what is what's his name? Golly, Beyonce's husband. I can't even think of his name right now. Jay-Z. Think about what Jay-Z have said about having kids. It's so many celebrities that have the bread, the money, and they'll still tell you no. Jill Scott, another one. Soon as she had a child, they was like, she was,
They were both on the Breakfast Club, and they were asked, what she's referring to is if you can go listen to it yourself, they were both asked about them having their first child when they were on the Breakfast Club, and both of them said that it's hella hard.
Exactly.
They got a lot of help, and it's real hard, even with all the money and the help. So they were like, and these people got hella resources, and they still feel like, this is a lot.
So I would advise the younger generation to really search yourself and ask yourself if that's what you want to do. I'm never going to say don't have kids. If you feel like that's your plot in life, that's what your calling is in life, then by all means, that's what you should do. But do it on the strength that that's what you want to do. And that means that if he does check in, cool, great, grand. If he doesn't, you okay with it too. Because when you're having them to create a family or this fantasy that everybody seems to be in, well, a lot, let me not say everybody, a lot of women are in, it doesn't play out that way. And you're going to end up being frustrated, angry, whether he's there or not. I will tell you, ladies, your light dims.
What do you mean by that, V?
Like your energy that you give out to the world, what everybody sees, the fun, playful, uplifting, kind of like a cloud type person, if you will, a light type person, happy type person. That part unfortunately gets taken away once you have kids. And it's kids, don't get me wrong. I love the fuck out of my daughter, y'all. I really do. But the work that goes into raising kids is just a lot, and that's what brings you down. Not necessarily the kids themselves, it's the work. Think about, and I've said this on previous podcasts, think about being on your job every single day, clocked in 24/7, 365 days a year. How do you think your energy would be being plugged in like that?
Exhausted.
Yes. So that's what happens. You become exhausted and you lose yourself because you have to focus on your child a lot. Those that want their kids to be successful, you stop everything in your life and you focus on them to make sure that they succeed. 2 decades of that is a long time of doing that.
That's real talk.
It's a long time. And a lot of times it's hard to, when they go off to college, to revert back and find self again. A lot of women tend to lose themselves in that, which is why a lot of times you'll have your mom, if you do have kids, you'll have your mom coming to you saying, oh, when are you going to have a kid? Because once you're gone to college, she don't know what to do with herself half the time. So in her mind, the next thing to do is to take care of more kids.
That's a fact.
Because she's gone through 2 decades of doing it already.
That's her identity.
That's it. It becomes her identity. That's all she knows. And that's not everybody's identity. That's so real. Really, really, really search yourself and ask, is this what I'm supposed to be doing with my life that I have? We only here for a short amount of time. Is that what you're really supposed to be doing?
Because just because you're a woman and you can have them, if society tells you you should or you have to, don't mean you should or have to.
Exactly.
You have to be honest with yourself about yourself, because society society pushes kids off on women because society needs workers. They need people to work these jobs to, you know, to keep everything
The money
going.
flow.
Yeah, that's why they sell this fantasy about motherhood to women, because if women really understood what the undertaking they're about to do, a lot of women would opt out of motherhood.
They would.
If they really understood what the sacrifice they're about to make on so many levels, because it ain't just, it's a multi-sacrificial choice.
That way.
You sacrifice your relationship, because at the end of the day, men don't really process well with children.
They don't.
Especially little ones. They like them when they're able to play sports.
Exactly.
But when they little, all of that work is probably going to be on you. They're getting up and the baby crying and he can't sleep. He's irritated. Y'all not having sex. You don't feel like it. Your body ain't what it used to be because you just had a baby in it. So you don't feel as attractive or desirable. So that's going to affect your sex life. Your peace, where you had peace, you had a baby in the situation. Your money, now there's a financial responsibility that you didn't have when y'all first got into the relationship. Now y'all both have. That's more stress, right? There's so many things that can negatively affect the lives of both people when we as women decide to have children that nobody really talks about. And I'm like Vanita, I'll never tell a woman not to have kids if that's what you want to do. But women need to have kids realistically, not in a fantasy of, I'm in love. I want to have a family with him, because men don't even think like that. When was the last time you heard a man say, I can't wait to be in love and have a family? When was the last time you heard a man say that? They don't even think like that. Men think, I can't wait to get this money and rule this bitch. That's what men want to do. They want power and money. All that family stuff.
You're also jeopardizing, you could be jeopardizing your life. Like, listen.
That's a big one.
You don't know what's going to happen, even in childbirth. Like, you could die in childbirth.
Yes. Even several celebrities have talked about how they almost died. Serena Williams.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's who I was about to say.
Yeah, from preeclampsia and things of that nature. So you're really putting your life on the line when you decide to have a child.
Beyond that, ladies, be mindful too. If you do feel like that's your plight, really be ready, because you don't know what type of child you're going to receive.
That's another one.
They could have medical issues.
That's a big
one. That a lot of people think, because just a few minutes ago I said giving away 2 decades of your life is a lot, but how about your whole entire life? Because if they have any kind of serious medical issues where they cannot live on their own, then they're gonna be with you for the rest of their life.
Are you okay with that?
Are you ready for that?
These are the things that you need to think about before you make this decision, because we're making these decisions to have babies out of a fantasy of having a family, because most Black women have the father wound, meaning there's a lack of, or him, but he wasn't there like that type of thing. So when you become a teenager, you're instantly trying to get the love and validation from a man, and the way society grooms women and programs women, that includes a baby. I'm gonna have a family, so I'm gonna have a baby. But the men they're not programmed, particularly men in this community, they're not programmed that way. They're not thinking about being in love and having a family, particularly young. When in their 20s and stuff, they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about how many women they can bed and whatever else, but they're not really thinking about having no family. So we have these babies, and then we end up kind of left because he don't really want to participate, and our mama and aunts and sisters are helping us raise them.
Exactly.
Now you got a baby by somebody you're not with, you was never with. You're still gonna want a companionship in the future. You're still gonna want to date and have somebody, just because your situation with your child's father didn't work out. But it is not easy to get another man when you have somebody else's child. It's going to make it harder.
It does.
When really what you want, and let's keep this, I want to keep this extra real because I'm a woman. I've had women friends all my life. I've been around women all my life, tons of them. What you really want is him. That's what you really want. And women,
and think about this, ladies. When you went and laid down and you ended up getting pregnant, did y'all have a discussion saying, I want a kid? Because that's usually not the case.
Hardly ever. If ever. It's not the case.
It's not the case. Usually, you wanting this family, that's not, did you really actually really want that for real? That's why we believe you guys really want the man, because it wasn't even a discussion saying, I want a kid. So yeah, no condoms, no nothing, let's go. I want a kid. You good?
Exactly.
That's usually not the conversation.
No, you took off your clothes and you bent over because you wanted him. So it's not a far stretch to believe that if you allow him to implant his semen inside of you, that you don't want to have a baby with him. You want him. He comes with the package of the baby. So let's be honest about that. It's time for us as women to be honest about that, because we be lying to ourselves and then be bitter and mad when we have these babies and we got the baby, but he done went off and got with somebody else. They do it all the time, and they do it because the baby brings it changes the dynamic of the relationship. It's no longer fun. It's just a bunch of responsibility and stress.
Exactly.
And that's not what you were trying to do. You thought, because society tells women this lie, you thought that the baby was going to bring y'all closer together. That's what you thought. Oh, he's going to put the family together. No, it repels me. The quickest way to lose a man is to have his baby.
That is
the quickest way to lose a man is to have his kid. And unfortunately, most women learn this when it's too late.
Exactly.
Your baby is always here. And like Vanita said, what if the baby has a medical condition or something like that? Now you got a baby with a medical condition that he probably definitely ain't gonna want to deal with.
I was about to say, at those times, they really, truly usually hit the road then.
Yeah, they're not gonna want to deal with that. Men already don't want to deal with the work that comes with being a parent. They don't want to deal with it because in their mind, this was unnecessary. It didn't have to be this. You brought this in their mind now. I'm not saying you did, because it's both purpose responsibility in my opinion, but he looking at it like, you decided to have this baby. You made this choice. You take care of it. That's how men feel.
Especially if they said to you, when you went to them and said, I'm pregnant, and they said, I want you to have an abortion, they definitely feel like it's on you.
Yes, they already told you they didn't want it.
That way.
You thought you was going to change his mind and be some sort of doting dad, or you told yourself, I don't care, the whole, we big about this. I don't care. I'll do it by myself. I want my baby. Okay, well, do it by yourself, but then don't be mad when he don't participate like he told you he wasn't.
Exactly.
We got to own our decisions. We're not victims, ladies. Particularly not in the age of the internet, because this ain't even no secret no more. It's well talked about. It's well talked about all the way through social media.
It is very much
talked about all the time on social media. So we just want to give young women a
realistic view.
Yeah, a realistic view and some things to think about if you're deciding to make this choice, particularly young and without, a committed relationship. And even if you get married when you're older and you still decide to go down this road, just know, with or without this marriage, you're going to still be a mama. So you need to be okay with that. Marriages end, husbands die, things happen. You're still going to be primarily responsible for this baby if there is no man. Women think baby man. No, ladies, it's baby mine. Irregardless of what he does. Right? So just make sure this is what you want to do. And your mama now ain't going to tell you this because she just want a grandchild. She just wants something to do. But it's going to affect your life going forward. Like I said, it's going to affect your dating life. It's going to affect your peace. It's going to affect your financials through everything. So
it affects your looks a lot of times.
It affects your looks. Some women never get back their pre-baby body. Never. Ever. So make sure you're good with that. Then what the dating night do to your body? A lot of them say, it's worth it. Not that it was worth it. Just make sure you okay with it. Because you have some women get stretch marks, all type of stuff, loose skin that never goes back. You gotta be sure you're okay with the after effect, and not women. We're too in the moment. We're too. I love him. I love him in the moment type of people. We
instead of looking further down.
Yeah. Exactly. Particularly making permanent choices in temporary situations. We do that a lot.
A whole
as
lot.
Women. Y'all, the relationships most likely will end. You and the man you in love with right now, there's a big chance, huge percentage that relationship or marriage will end.
Especially if you in your 20s, the younger generation that we're talking to.
20s. Especially if you're in your 20s.
You change so much by the time you hit your 30s, and even more by the time you hit your 40s.
You and him. You're not even the same people no more. No. But you still got to be parents. That's why I want young women to really think about this. Make sure you're financially, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually ready for this undertaking, whether he's here or not.
Mm-hmm.
And all the things that can happen if you make this decision, all of the things and all of the sacrifices, you're ready for that. And I don't want young women continuing to go into this in a fantasy.
Agreed.
Because the Matrix is selling women a fantasy. That's what it needs. It needs you to have kids and sacrifice yourself to keep society going. So they don't give a damn. Because I don't give a damn what happens to you. We just need you to have these babies so we can keep making money.
Exactly.
We don't care about your happiness, none of that. So be aware of the manipulation that society puts on women and the pressure society puts on women to make this decision, whether you want to or not. So really search yourself to decide, is this a choice that's good for me? Not because I'm a woman, but because of who I am. Does this choice fit my lifestyle?
Exactly.
Does it? Really look at that. Because I see so many women making a choice and then be confused and bitter and mad after they figure out it's not what they were sold.
Mm-hmm.
You can see
literally have said, this ain't what I thought it was going to be.
You need to go no further than TikTok. It's a whole section of I regret having kids on TikTok where women are sorrowful because they were sold a fantasy, and when they got into the reality, it wasn't shit like what they were sold. It was like, this is a lot of work and a lot of sacrifice. It's not, I didn't get the feeling. It's like women think they're going to feel it. And of course, you love your baby. Because they love their children.
They're looking for because society sells you that it's going to be this overwhelming love feeling. And majority don't get that.
Mm-mm. They love their kids, but it ain't what they thought it was going to be.
Exactly. It's like, not an overwhelming like whoosh of love like they show you on TV. Like it's just this energy that bursts and then you just, nah.
And on top of that, now you have a child. So your energy is being drained because you got to give almost everything you got to this child. So you're kind of sacrificing yourself. Now you're going to start looking for a reprieve or something outside of that to just give you some sort of relief. And it ain't easy to get another man when you got a 2-year-old.
Mm-hmm. No, not at all.
Yeah, like Universal Trip said, hi, how are you? Thanks for joining. Said in the chat, ask yourself, is this choice going to benefit me? She's absolutely right. Is this choice going to benefit me?
Exactly. You better ask yourself that.
Yeah, I want young women to really ask ourselves that. Is this going to benefit me? And if you can search your soul and everything in you saying, this is what I want, this is not supposed to do it, whatever,
Then
then
you should
okay.
definitely do it.
Yeah, but
You should definitely do it. Yeah.
if you're saying no, or I don't know to any of this stuff, I don't know if I want to give up my peace. I don't know if I want to give up my body. I don't know if I'm ready to give up a future relationship. I don't know if I'm ready to put a strain on my finances. If you not sure about any of those stuff, really ask yourself before you do it.
Exactly.
Just before you do it. Because
really,
it is
really
not
yourself.
easy to raise a child by yourself, or even with the help of your mom and sisters. Them, it's still not an easy feat. And if the stress is all going to be primarily on you, it's your baby at the end of the day. Even with the help of your mom, it's still your baby. Your mama could leave this earth tomorrow. Then what?
Real talk.
Then what? It's on you. So I just want young women to have a more realistic view of what being on. And Vanita will tell you, her baby is 17 now. 17. But she went through it, even with the help of her child's father, and he was there the entire time. Was it not still hard, V?
It was hard as heck. It was hard as heck. And dating was null and void for me. I'm just now getting back into the dating world within the last, year?
Yes, 17 years. Yeah. She sacrificed dating. Are you willing to make that sacrifice? Because it ain't easy dating with a child or children.
It's not.
Are you willing
to date? In today's age, because you can swipe left and right easy. So it's like nobody wants to date you every other weekend. Shit, they don't even want to date you. They talk to you today and won't call you back tomorrow because they didn't already found somebody else to swipe to. So how do you think it is with kids? Like, it's a whole different world.
It is. It is. So just be mindful of all of those things. Like we said, are you okay if the child has a disability or something is medically wrong with it?
Yeah.
You might have to possibly take care of this child even when it's grown for the rest of your life. Are you okay if your body is never the same, that you never lose the weight, that you have a bunch of stretch marks? Are you okay with not dating for X amount of years? Are you okay with a financial strain? Are you okay with not sleeping? As long as you're okay with all of these things, then do you. But just be mindful. Just think about, ask yourself these questions. Then again, this is more towards the younger generation because y'all mamas already done did it. This is more for the younger generation. I'm just telling you what she not gonna tell you. And she not gonna tell you because she don't want you to know that she felt like this when she had you. So that's why Black women are not really saying it, because they don't want you to think that you was a mistake. So
I was about to say it's a perception that you were a mistake, or they don't love you, and it's not the child, it's the experience. They're two different things.
It is.
It's two totally different things. It has nothing to do with the kid.
It has nothing. Even the women on TikTok, it has nothing to do with their love. And I'm sure they'll give
their kids,
for their children.
Yes.
It's just the sacrifice was bigger than they thought it would be. That's what it is. They didn't think they were going to sacrifice their whole soul. They didn't see it that way.
Exactly.
But it's a lot. It's a lot of sacrifice. So that's kind of what we wanted to, to share, with young women, because again, I've seen so many young women make this choice, not really understanding what the choice entails, because in the moment they think they're in love. They think they want to be with this little boy or, have a family with this guy. And then men don't even older men, they're not even thinking like that. They trying to get to the money. That's their goal. Not to be in love, not in that. They're trying to get to money and sex. That's their goal. Not no family and no love. So let's not get it twisted. That's a woman's dream. That's your dream. His dream is money and sex. It's two different dreams, right? And if you do find somebody, that y'all fall in love and all of those things, and you want to do it, then go ahead and do it. Just know that if with him or without him, you're gonna still be a mama.
Exactly.
That's the thing. With or without him.
Have the conversation. Have the serious conversation, ladies. If that's really what you want to do, have the conversation.
Yeah, I agree. Make sure y'all on the same page, and And even then, be aware that he might say okay, that he has everybody got the right to change their mind.
Exactly.
He might change his mind. You gotta be okay with that. That's all
Mm-hmm.
we're saying. Basically, the moral of this story is be okay raising this child by yourself and everything that comes with that if you decide to do it.
Period.
Bottom line, be okay with it. All the sacrifices and all the consequences that are going to come with it. Just be okay with that. So, Lee, do you have any closing remarks or advice? This is a quick to the point show tonight.
No, just really search yourself. That's all I got for you guys. Really sit down and search yourself.
And Vanita, we always, she again is a mom, so she's went through the experience. Her daughter's about to get ready to go to college, so that's when I say been through the experience. So she can really give real life advice based on all the things she went through with the daddy present, with him really being there for the child, and it was still hard. So I can't imagine not having that help.
Really hats off to the ladies that don't. I don't know how they got through it. For real.
Yeah, that's real talk. It ain't no joke.
Mm-mm. Not at all. It's
It's
nothing to
real.
play with. It's not for the faint at heart at all.
That's real talk. That's real talk. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for the evening, so we can go get some rest. Hopefully, feel better.
Thank you.
We're here usually at 7:30. We did it a little early tonight because, like I said, Vanita wasn't feeling good, so we're trying to get it over so she can go lay down. But we're usually here every Wednesday at 7:30. We'd be love for you to join us. Hopefully, yeah, we'll be here next Wednesday. Again, yeah. So next Wednesday we'll be here at 7:30. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We'd love to have you and like the video, so eventually we can get into the algorithm. And again, thanks for everybody who is listening live, who will listen to the playback. Yes, thanks for everybody tuning in wherever you may be. Not to go get my treats, and I did some. It's so stupid.
Okay.
I had some Uber Eats delivered. Got a red cup. It's gonna be a good evening for me. Oh, I got my back massager. I put that back massager on my neck last night, Vanita. I didn't even want to go. I didn't even want to. I was like, girl, you can't go sleep this thing. I didn't even want to take it off. It felt so good. It just felt like a constant somebody like massaging my neck all the whole time.
Oh my God, that sounds like heaven. I think I'm gonna have to order me one.
It was. I was like, this. Why y'all didn't tell me earlier? I could have been doing it.
I know, right? Like,
yes, it is amazing. Okay. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. We will see y'all next week, same time, same place.
All right. Good night.
All right, bye, guys.